Hi everyone, welcome to A Beer with Brad, episode 27. Tonight I'm going to talk about some of my Colorado photography videos that have been coming out over the last few weeks, and maybe a look ahead towards the next couple. But tonight, let's start with the beer. Tonight I'm having a Weldwerks Czech-Style Pilsner. Weldwerks is in Greeley, Colorado, and they have a lot. They're really known for their IPAs, but they have some really good stouts. And then I found this Czech-Style Pilsner here in Omaha, actually right up the street at the Casual Pint. And I thought, you know, I haven't done like a real nice light beer in a while. What I want to say is like a beer flavored beer. So this is a nice Pilsner, but it has a lot more flavor than like one of the American ones you'd get at the store here. A lot more of the, just the grains and all the flavors are in there. It's a really full flavored beer, but it's a nice light beer flavored beer, if you understand what I'm trying to say there. Weldwerks is now distributed in Nebraska. Like I said, I got this right up the street. But before they were distributed here, there was a lot of people that when people go out to Colorado, they always say, hey, grab some Weldwerks and bring it back. A lot of their IPAs, the most popular one is probably their Juicy Bits, and you can find that all over town here. But so now you don't hear about people bringing it back from Colorado. It's kind of funny, Colorado has always been kind of the go-to. Back when my parents were younger, people were sneaking Coors back in Nebraska, and then when I turned 21 and started drinking craft beer, people were bringing Fat Tire back to Nebraska, and so now it's on the Weldwerks and all kinds of other things. So many breweries out there anymore, it's kind of hard to keep track, but this is one of the last big ones where I really remember people bringing Weldwerks back, and people always looking forward to that. So Weldwerks Czech-Style Pilsner, beer flavored beer. So only a month until the first art fair of the year already. I cannot believe that. I really didn't think about it much till today, and then once I thought about today, it's like I'm behind because I haven't really gone through and decided what I need to print as far as the big pictures for the wall. So I really need to get this video out tonight and get in gear and get the pictures ordered. They'll come up before you know it, and some of the pictures, depending on what I decide to get, some of them will only take a week or two, but other pictures, they could take almost the entire month to get here. So hopefully what I decide to pick will be available, and I'll be able to get it here in time for the art fair. So Countryside Village Art Fair, right up the street from where I live. It's a great art fair. It's getting close to the 60th anniversary. I know we did the 50th anniversary sometime in the last few years, so been around for a long time, longer than I've been around, and always some great people up there. Last year we had the big storm. Hopefully we don't have that again, but always a great art fair. One other thing before I start talking about the fall color videos is May 16th. May 16th is the annual Wear Yellow Nebraska walk, run, and bike fundraiser, and they always have a huge raffle, silent auction type thing, and I always donate a picture to them. And so this year, fit this in the whole picture here, but this picture that I took of downtown Omaha during the College Road series from a helicopter. It's 24 by 36. It will be in their fundraiser on the 16th. So if you'd like to get a cool picture downtown Omaha, it's already ready to hang. It goes right on your wall. All you need is a hook or a nail. If you want to support a good cause and get a skyline picture of downtown Omaha, that's a good way to go get one. So again, May 16th, the Wear Yellow Nebraska annual ride, walk, run event that they have. So it'd be great if you could get out and support them. That picture's actually going to them tomorrow, so the same day that this Beer with Brad comes out. So over the last few weeks, I started releasing my fall color videos from October 2022. So I'm not always the quickest at getting these videos done. I know I mentioned at one time or another that my crane videos that I started from 2022, so over a year ago now, never finished those. I have new crane videos from this year I haven't even looked at yet, and it just you know, when I get back from the trip, there's always a lot to do, a lot to catch up on, and so, you know, the videos kind of take a back burner, and then I also have to go through the photos because I need the photos to show in the videos, so a lot of work. It's been great. I'm glad I did get 4 videos out of the, I think 6 or 7, maybe 8, I don't remember how many days now, it's been so long, but I had the first 4 done before I released the very first one, because I knew I wouldn't, you know, have time to do a video every single week. So video 4 will come out next week, next Thursday night, and then I'm almost done with number 5, so I'll have that one done, and then I really got to get going on number 6. So the first episode, I start off and I am already out in central Nebraska. I had a photo shoot that morning, and then the first 3/4 of the video, I think I'm just in the car driving. It's just some music and the camera out the windshield. So the only critique I've really got on the video, I've got a lot of positive feedback on that first one. Someone did say there was too much driving. I thought the first complaint or critique would be that the music was annoying, but just too much driving. So the first day did have more driving than any of them, but the first day, that's pretty much all I did. I drove all the way to Colorado, met up with Josh and Amy, set my car off at the campsite where we were camping that night, and then headed up to Capitol Peak. So shot sunset, and other than that time I was out for sunset, that was pretty much in the car the whole day, so there was a lot of driving. But you know, driving through Colorado, through the Eisenhower Tunnel, Glenwood Canyon, there's so many cool things. So I guess the people that like driving like myself probably appreciate it more than just the casual fan wanting to see some fall color photography. So let me know if you think, was that too much driving for you? Was the music annoying? And then the next, so I guess I'm kind of reviewing these and also kind of critiquing my videos, and the processing kind of caught my eye. And when I first got back, I started working on the photos right away, and I was processing of how I remembered them in my mind. Well, then here we are 6 months later, and I'm starting to notice, you know, the GoPro that I shot a lot of these videos on, the color balance or the white balance was way different than what I was actually shooting in my camera or using in my camera. And I also, most of the time my photos are shot with automatic white balance, and then I just adjust them a taste. Out of all the settings in your camera that you can use an auto setting on, the white balance is the one that just really, in my opinion, doesn't affect anything as far as the quality of the photo when you adjust it afterwards. And it's also, the white balance is one of the things that I think is the most critical to adjust to get pretty close to right. So as I'm looking at these videos, at first, when I first started processing the photos, I thought they were great, but then after, you know, my memory of the time kind of starts to fade a little bit, and I'm looking at the GoPro video versus my picture. The GoPro has some really bright blues and a little cooler tones in it, where my photos I processed are more yellow or warm tones. So I need to, maybe in the future, I don't process the videos really. I just basically take them out of the camera, I edit them, I cut out the sections I want, and I piece them all together, and then I add any music, any voiceover, and any pictures to them after the fact, and then I just kind of publish it. So I'm kind of thinking in the future I need to set some white balance on the camera, or get the video camera closer to the pictures I'm going to show. Otherwise, I think in the video it just kind of comes off, it looks a little bit funny. So maybe that's something I can shoot for in the future. And in the first video, you'll see that my LCD screen, so on the back of the camera, there's the screen flips off to the side, and so you can review it. You could also flip it around and close it again, so you're still reviewing it. But normally, 99% of the time when I'm out taking photographs, I'm looking through the viewfinder in the back of the camera and not using the LCD screen. I just want to point out that we were on a really steep hill going down, and the camera was in front of me, and the tripod is already shorter than I am, so then when it's downhill even further, it gets that. And I just don't want to get down hunched over so far where I'm, you know, not where I'm focusing more on my balance and not focusing on the photo. So sometimes in a weird situation, I will flip that LCD screen open and then use that to compose my photo. But 99% of the time, it's through the eyepiece on the back of the camera. And then it's kind of funny, like when you'll notice in all the first 3 videos, I think, I'm really excited when I'm there, and I'm like, this is great, everything is awesome, you know, everything's perfect. And then I get back and I'm editing these photos, and I'm like, well, I don't know. So in the first video I said that the trees were were pretty green, but they were yellow enough, and I think my actual quote was good enough for this guy. And I kind of laughed when I looked at that, because it's like, no, they could totally be better. I mean, they were cool, and there was plenty of yellow in there, but they definitely could have been better. So I just kind of laughed at the good enough for this guy. So then went back to camp and got up the next morning, and then that's when episode 2 starts. And again, when I wake up, I'm pretty excited about the clouds. I mean, the clouds were awesome, don't get me wrong, but I mean, just in the video came off, like, how awesome they were. And, you know, I was saying that creates some of the best scenes, and it really does. But I mean, if we got cool stuff, don't get me wrong, I really like what I got, but if we would have got a little sunlight breaking through to the east and lighten up some of those clouds, and it would have put some extra contrast in there, and I think you'd be surprised how much better they even could have been. But I was really excited with what we had, so, and that really came across in the video. And then the fog. I said we were under attack from the fog, which I don't know why I said we were under attack, but it was kind of funny. And then the fog is, in those clips I showed, I sped up the fog, because just sitting there watching fog roll in would be pretty boring. But just to keep the video moving and keep it interesting, I did speed up the fog. So while it was coming in and you could visually see it coming at you, it was quite a bit slower than what the video showed. But overall, that was a great morning. Those conditions were awesome. So a little bit of light, but overall great conditions. Then we moved down to Kebler Pass, and I know in the video I kept saying Keebler, and you know, the Keebler elves. I keep thinking Keebler for some reason, but it's actually Kebler Pass. So apologize for always saying that wrong. No one caught it, no one mentioned it in the comments or anything, but I was saying it wrong. So then we do head down to Kebler Pass. There's more driving in this video, but not nearly as much, and it was more just winding through the mountains driving. A little bit of Josh and I on the walkie-talkie. There was a ton of walkie-talkie talk between the two of us, but I think that might be the only one in all of these videos. So while we were driving, we stopped and took pictures of the ferns on the side of the hill. The ferns turn yellow just like the trees. So it was a really cool scene with the golden aspen leaves, the golden ferns, and then all the white tree trunks coming up. If I could do anything different there, I probably would have stayed a little bit longer, kind of worked that scene a little more, and focused on some compositions just a little bit harder. I think I got some that I really like, but kind of looking at the video as I pan across there, and you know, it's only a quick split second, you're not staring at it like you do for a picture, but I think I could have got a couple different things. But overall, it was really cool. It was the first time I come across the ferns like that, so I was glad we did stop and spend a little time there. And next time I'll probably spend a little more time. And then that night we get down and we found our camp spot. You know, we took the safety shot, which is weird because I said in the video that we took safety shots, which is just like, you know, you get some shots before the light gets good. Like, so if you're waiting for magic hour, golden hour, sunset, any of those, before that actually happens, you just take some pictures in case something changes. And took some, and I felt like in the video I made it sound like we got really good photos, and then I look at what we did get at that time, and it's like they were alright, but I don't know that it was anything special. So you know, the safety shot might have been just more documenting the scene for the video or for my own memory, but really there wasn't much there. And then we kind of scattered around. We walked down around all over down in the bottom there where my battery dies, so I kind of quit talking to you. But after the battery died, we actually hiked over and up the hill, and where we actually shot the next morning, the day 3 video from, and we walked all over that hill trying to find the best spot. We spent quite a while over there, and then across the beaver dam and back down to where we camped. And we actually, you can see in the day 3 videos, you can see my car and Josh's car at the campsite still from the night before. But so that night we didn't have anything. We just ate dinner, and by the time we finished eating dinner, the storm's already rolling and lightning and thunder. So cleaned up real quick, got in the car, and just called it a night. The first 2 nights I camped in my car both nights. Just kind of, I have a SUV, fold down all the back seats, and then I can lay out a sleeping bag and a air mattress and just sleep in the car. That way in the morning, or you know, those cold nights or the storms, or in the morning if we have to go quick, I don't have to worry about tearing down tent or anything. Also, I'm not a big fan of tent camping in bear country. So bears, we didn't. I've never seen a bear in Colorado actually, but I know they're there. So it's just one of those things where I'd rather not tent camp by myself in bear country. So then in the morning we wake up, day 3, and there is a lot of fresh snow. And I know I mentioned it right at the beginning of the video, the fresh snow, but I don't know if it came across in the video. And the more I look back at the day 2 video and the day 3 video, there was a ton of snow. I mean, it really came down the side of that mountain. And I think the fresh snow is really what made the morning photos more special, because if they would have just had that light little dusting on the very top, it just would not have been the same. It really added a nice contrast to the scene against that blue sky. The morning of day 3 also, I know it's funny watching the video and then looking at what actually happened and looking at what's going on in the video and looking at my photos, and whatever I said about the weather in that video was like completely wrong, other than like, I don't know, the sun should have been up. I said earlier the sun should have been up, must be behind a cloud. That was accurate. And then I said blue sky, and then the clouds came in, and then I don't know, I just feel like everything I talked about the weather didn't actually come across in the video the same way. So we had all kinds of weather that morning, so it just didn't line up with the video. And that's kind of the thing when you're doing these videos, you're trying to take pictures. I mean, you were there, you're a photographer, you're there to take pictures, and you're also trying, or I'm trying to get the video to show you for my fall color videos. And so sometimes maybe I don't see it right, or I don't piece them together right, because when I get back, you know, the videos are all, they're kind of time-stamped, but they're not. The GoPro does a pretty bad job, I feel like, getting them time-stamped right, I also feel like my GoPro resets the time a lot too. So and then we get down there, and it's funny, I hike across the beaver dam, and then I started thinking, like, is that even legal or okay? And I've seen so many people do it, but that never makes it right. But I looked as I was making that video, and I still didn't ever see any rules against hiking over beaver dam. And you know, they're not a protected species. In some states they're a nuisance, but you know, they actually do a lot of good too, create a lot of habitat for other animals. But so I started thinking that, should I even put that in the video? And I thought, you know, it was unique, it was something different. I was there, I've seen other people do it, I couldn't find anything wrong with it, so I did add it. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, but you know, that the dam is amazingly strong. I mean, I'm a big dude and I can walk right over, and it doesn't even like bend or give or anything. It's like walking on a regular sidewalk. I get across the beaver dam, and I'm talking about being out in the wilderness, and all of a sudden a car horn honks, and it sounds like I was standing right next to a parking lot. And we were somewhat close to a trailhead where there is a parking lot where people hike up the mountain that we were by, but there's just something about the way it echoed. It sounded like I was right there in the parking lot. So kind of funny when I say, you know, when you're out here in the middle of nowhere, use this beaver dam to get across the river, and then it sounds like you're in a parking lot. So we were in the wilderness, but we were close to other people. So and then that day we went down to Ridgeway, Ouray, and Telluride, and I talk about the boatload of people. We were on County Road 5 in Colorado by Ridgeway. It's no secret. There's a million people know about it. I have no problem saying where we were. But it's popular because it's cool, and I guess I always I always want to find original shots, and I always want to do something different. But at that particular place, it's on a private. You're going into the forest. You're on the County Road 5 goes through a private ranch. It's actually Ralph Lauren's ranch. So where I took that picture from, and all those cars are parked, is technically on Ralph Lauren's ranch, but you're on the county road. And so basically, when you're on his private ranch, you're not supposed to leave the road. So everyone in his cars are lined up one side of the road. Cameras are right next to all the cars, and you're taking pictures down the valley of this beautiful scene. It's one of those classic shots that a lot of people have taken, but I still feel like it's worth going there because it is an amazing view, and I don't feel like I have the perfect picture yet that like just shows it in all its glory. So, you know, when I'm down that way, I always like to stop there. And why I do always joke or make fun of or whatever you want to say about all the bows of people. Every time you go to a place like that, and it's all a bunch of photographers. Everyone gets along, you know, and friendly, chatty. Actually run into people, you know. This time I ran into another photographer that I've watched videos of over the years on YouTube. So it's always cool just to chat and talk and get some pictures and just enjoy the beautiful scene. And then I don't know that I ever mentioned in the video, but the problem with that photo that night was Mount Sneffels, the 14er that's in the main mountain peak in that range, is behind the clouds, so you can't see it. You see all the lower mountains around Mount Sneffels, and it looks like you're just looking at the mountains. You think you see, if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't realize that the big mountain is hidden back there. So the scene was cool. Did have some cool light early. Clouds kind of came and went a little bit, but they never raised above Mount Sneffels. So in that night video, you never got to see Mount Sneffels. So that was the problem that night. And I always say problem, but it's still an awesome time to be out there. Still great. Just another excuse to go back and try it again. So that's the end of day 3. You know, I'm going to get day 4 out here next week. We're going to start back at that exact same spot in the morning with Mount Sneffels, looking down the valley at County Road 5. Complete opposite, don't want to be a spoiler, but it's a complete opposite where you wake up and there's not a cloud in the sky. So that's a hard shot when there's nothing to work with either. So and then that night we have I do have some train footage in the middle of that day. That night we have a great sunset, and then on to the rest of the trip after that. So keep watching my channel. You'll see the new videos come out. My plan is to do, well, one of the studio lights just fell over. Usually I have a clamp holding it up, and tonight I thought it was secure enough. It didn't seem like it was going anywhere, but apparently I should go up and get the clamp and keep it held up. So but yeah, hopefully every Thursday for the next month or so we'll get the rest of these videos out, and then I got some other videos coming. Also, just keep in mind that I'm still looking for some suggestions. I do got a couple suggestions for some upcoming. I wanted to go over these because I just feel like as I watch the videos, there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff I'd like to kind of explain. So, you know, I might even do it next month too when I finish up the rest of the videos, go through the behind the scenes on that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to either leave them down below or shoot me an email, brad@bradwilliamsphotography.com. And then, like I said, if you have any suggestions for future episodes, go ahead and let me know those too. If you're out and about or up at the Casual Pint and you want to grab a Czech-Style Pilsner, it's a really nice beer by Weldwerks. Don't forget, it'll probably be right about the next time the next Beer with Brad comes out, but June 3rd and 4th, the Countryside Village Art Fair is coming. Stop by, see me. I'll have all kinds of prints and big pieces to look at and purchase if you wish. If you just want to stop by and say hi, you can do that too. And then don't forget, if you want to have a chance to win this, check out the Wear Yellow Nebraska website. It'll have the event details for the fundraiser coming up on May 16th. So, well, thanks again for tuning in this month, and appreciate everyone following me along on this Colorado fall photography series. It's been a lot of fun making, and by the views, I've noticed that a lot of people must really like it. So thanks a lot for everything. Appreciate everyone, and we'll see you again next month.